I hate what I'm about to admit to you. I really do. But we may lose again and again and again because the truth is that the right has figured out something that the left exhaustingly still has not, which is that it is not enough to say Trump is corrupt, he's authoritarian, he's dangerous, and to send a strongly worded letter. It is not enough. It's true that Trump is corrupt. It's true that he's an authoritarian. It's true that he's dangerous. But oftentimes, we are not mobilizing people on the left. People are rightly angry. But meanwhile, Republicans have made calls to action their entire playbook. They are mobilizing. And I want to break down some of the areas in which they are absolutely crushing us. You look at school boards, okay? Moms for Liberty floods meetings until they control the agenda. They get books banned. They bully teachers about curricula. They reshape curricula in towns you maybe haven't even heard of. And Democrats, we've got a strongly worded op-ed in the local paper. Maybe we've got a hashtag campaign or somehow like that. One side is showing up in the room. The other is writing tweets about the room. You then look at youth recruitment. Obviously, we've got to talk about Turning Point USA. They built this entire pipeline, the campus chapters and the conferences and the trips to Arizona or Florida or whatever, wherever, the merchandise and all of it. They are really training the next generation of right-wing organizers. And the left is counting on young people to vote because Republicans suck. It's not that much of a plan. It's really wishful thinking. You then go to state houses where Republicans are treating abortion bans like a weekly grind. They show up every session. They introduce bills. They push votes. They don't stop until something is passed. While Democrats sometimes do show up once, sometimes Democrats lose, and then they go to Twitter and they say the system's broken. Well, the system is broken. That's why Republicans are exploiting it. But unless we actually take that back, we're not going to be able to fix it. We're not going to be able to win. You look at the administration of elections and what's called the precinct strategy. What Republicans have done is look at the dullest corners of politics, county election boards, and they turn it into an organizing target. And now they start stacking those county election boards with their own people. And on the left, we say, we don't even realize we're getting outflanked by something that sounds really boring. And then finally, you got to look at higher education. This one is quieter, but maybe it's the most pernicious. Red state governors have discovered they can take over universities by filling the trustee boards with partisans. DeSantis did it in Florida, tossed out diversity programs, rejected tenure, fired faculty, installed right-wing activists as leadership. Glenn Youngkin has been doing it in Virginia. Greg Abbott's been doing it in Texas. Republican legislatures have been doing it elsewhere in the Midwest. Missouri is one place where it's happening. So this is not like culture war rhetoric. This really is structural power. Trustees control budgets. They control faculty hiring. They control tenure. They control accreditation. And Republicans saw the boards that ran universities and said, this is our organizing target. This is how we can start controlling the culture from the bottom up. Many Democrats didn't even realize the boards existed until they had already been captured by Republicans. So the pattern here is the right is doing a lot of critiquing, but they're mobilizing and organizing. The left is doing more critiquing than anything else. And so we often win arguments, and then Republicans actually win power and win ground. So this is not just about what the left doesn't do. It's about what we waste time doing, pouring energy into sometimes it's candidates that have no chance, to be quite honest, and Twitter debates that convince no one and symbolic gestures. And I understand the politics of performance, or the performance of politics, maybe better said, but Republicans are more focused on the power of politics. Now, this is why I think Gavin Newsom's Proposition 50 feels like a little bit of a spark. Whatever you think of Newsom, he's at least experimenting with the right formula, and he's pairing critique with action. Prop 50 is not just another speech about Republicans being wrong. It's a specific and concrete initiative. It forces a fight. It gives people a clear yes or no choice. They're going to vote on it. It's mobilizing volunteers. It's generating interest online. And so it's the idea, and this is why I'm optimistic about it, that if you combine messaging with organizing, you can do more than just win an argument. Now, I expect that for as long as the left is playing defense and the right is playing offense, we're going to be sort of like fact checking from the sidelines. We're going to win a lot of arguments, but not much more. So the question I have is, what would it look like if Democrats and progressive media and other voices like the David Pakman show, if we all combined the critique with a couple of concrete steps, one thing that people could do today, because we know that the critique alone isn't enough. And if the left doesn't learn that lesson, I hate to admit it, but there's going to be another loss and another loss and another one after that.